Alright, this is the orienteering science station. If you need anything related to the compasses or the orienteering game, this is where you come to. You open the box, and inside will be all the materials. Just beware, if it's the middle of summer, there could be bees that took up residence, so you want to open it with caution. And inside you will find the supplies that you need for the game. One of the supplies is these flags. To play the compass game, you have to find the stones up in the field. Each stone has a different letter on it. You take out the bolt and you put in the flag from the orienteering box. Cut. If you're starting at O, which is near the pavilion, there are numerous stones out in the field, each with a different letter on them. The first one would be O. To the left of O, in a circular form, is U. Then comes L. Z is behind the tree along the fence line. Then comes P. Then comes A. E is inside of the pumpkin garden. And a little bit to the right of E is I. Today we're going to learn how to use the compass. This is an example of a compass that's real large so you can see what we're talking about. You always want to hold the compass at waist high, so tell the students right in front of their belly is where they hold it. You always want to make sure that the direction of travel arrows, which are these arrows, are always pointed away from you. That's the direction that you're going to walk when you use the compass. This is the dial on the compass. If the game says to dial up 206 degrees, we have to turn the big dial until 206 degrees is lined up with this line right in between the direction of travel lines. Then we turn our body and the compass will automatically turn until this red part of the arrow is in this shed. We call this the shed arrow. So we tell the children, turn your body until red is in the shed. And that's right here. And then whatever direction that the compass, direction of travel arrows are pointing in, that's the direction that you will walk. Now for using the real compass, here's the demonstration of the same thing. Always hold the compass at waist high. These are the direction of travel arrows. If the game says turn your compass to 206 degrees, you will turn this knob to 206 degrees. You want this white line, which is also this line right here in between the direction of travel lines, to be at 206 degrees. Then you turn your body until the red arrow is in between the two white lines. Like that.
Red in the shed.
Now red is in the shed, and we walk in the direction of travel arrows, which will take us to flag number A, which is out in the field that direction. Now we're going to walk in that direction to flag number A. Each class will have 2 groups of students on a team. So if there's a class of 24, you'll have 12 teams. Each team will have a clipboard, a pencil, and will be given one of these cards. This happens to be card number 21, and it's telling me to start at letter L, which is the stone in the ground with the pink flag that has an L on it. This is telling me the first number to dial up on my compass. So if I'm standing here at L, I have the compass at waist level, the direction of travel arrows are pointed away from me, and I'm dialing up 206 degrees on my compass. So I'm turning the knob to 206 degrees. And that little white line that's real thick in there has to be on 206 degrees, and that's also in between the direction of travel arrows. Now I turn my body until the red arrow is in the shed, and you have to hold the compass fairly level for this to work. If it's pointed down like this or up like this, it's not going to work right. It's going to give you the wrong reading. So you have to have the compass at waist level, not tilted. Then you will write your starting letter on the paper. You're starting at letter L, so you write an L on the paper. Your compass said 206 degrees. I dialed up 206 degrees, and I'm going to walk in this direction that the direction of travel arrows tell me, which is going to be to that flag. And when we get out to that flag, whatever letter is on the stone that's in the ground there, we're going to write in box number 2. Now I happen to know that that letter is A, so I would write an A in the box. Our card tells us, or we arrived at letter A just like I expected, so I wrote an A down on the piece of paper. Now I'm going to dial up my next number on the card, which is 351 degrees. Compasses are in the units of degrees. So I take my compass, it was on 206 degrees. I'm going to turn it until it reads 351 degrees. So I'm going to turn the knob this way to 351. Again, I'm holding the compass at waist level, and I'm going to turn my body until red is in the shed. So I only had to turn my body a little bit this time. And the direction of travel arrows are pointed at the flag across the field. Whatever number or letter that stone is what I'm going to write on my paper next. I happen to know that it's letter O, so I would write an O down when I get to the flag. So we arrived at O just as I expected, and we wrote the O on the line. The next number on my card is 139 degrees. I'm going to dial up my compass to 139 degrees. Turn that knob till it gets to 139 degrees. Each tiny little tick mark is 2 degrees. So keep that in mind. It's almost on 140, but not quite. Now I'm going to turn my body until the red part of the arrow goes in between the white lines. That's the shed. Red is in the shed. I'm going to walk in the direction of travel. And it's hard to see it, but there is a flag behind that tree. We're going to walk there and see what letter is next in the game. We arrived at letter Z, so we will write a Z on our paper. Then we will look at the next number, 273 degrees. And we will dial up our compass until we get to 273 degrees. Right about there. Then we turn our body until the red part of the arrow is in the shed. And we look across the field. Do we see a flag that is kind of in line with these direction of travel arrows? We sure do. There's a flag out there. Let's go find out what letter it is. We arrived at our flag and it's letter E, so we will write letter E on our paper. Then we will dial up our last number on this card. It's a 55, so we're going from 273 to 55. Turn that arrow till you get to 55. Then turn your body until the red arrow is in the shed, red in the shed. Walk in this direction. And if you look out across the field behind the shed, there is a little pink flag there. If we walk to that, we're going to find letter U. When we get to U, we will write it on the paper. Then we will take our paper to the greenhouse teacher and say, I had card number 21, which we should have written on this when we started. And the greenhouse teacher will take the answer key, which is in the orienteering brown box, and they will look at number 21 and see if those letters match the letters on our card. The letters on the answer key are L, A, O, Z, E, U. Sure enough, they match. You get a check. If there's time, you get a new card from the greenhouse teacher and do the game again. The letters do not spell anything in particular. It makes it more challenging that way.